You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the Meta. The Meta controls everything. The Meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
And we're live.
Yes, I think. Yes, are we here?
Yes, we are. We are here. Hello, everyone. I can see us on screen. The background takes a second to kick in, but actually, there we are. There was a moment of everything freezing. I was a little concerned, but we're here.
Oh my god! Way to go, Live Shifter!
I'm also just seeing. Wow, everything is scrambled. Like our chat is scrambled. Where we have our sub notices is scrambled. Like, what the...
We've been trying to do this. We're giving away a really awesome free thing today to everybody. And in the process of making a really awesome free thing up here, we are experiencing technical difficulties.
And we are also having a ton of subs. Of course, having lots of subs is hilarious if we could only get the sub notice not hidden behind sponsor thing. Can you move it over so
he's
people
trying
actually
to.
see?
I got it. He's trying to. There it goes. It's not completely gone.
Oh my.
Okay, but I want to point something out. Twitch just announced this. There we go. There it is. That's where it needs to be. Perfect. Twitch just announced this week. I got an email about it, and so did anyone else that does Twitch streaming. They are now making it, and you're gonna love this, INN viewers. If you subscribe for 12 months and then disappear for a year, and then subscribe for that 13th month, you then will still get your 1-year INN badge. They are adding that to the thing. So you could still keep, like, it's no longer going to be consecutive, it's going to be total. So that's
okay.
Really awesome.
Apparently your mic is a shitload quieter than mine. So while you fiddle with the audio settings, I'm going to go ahead and do some shout-outs here. We've got The Wizard UK, we've got Innovate Tao, we have Rinrod Bagan for 26 months. He can, in fact, bring a Drake for 26 months. Green Lantern 101, hi to you. Trigger Mechanism, who says, boat! Skeptic Nerd Guy, for 48 months in a row, hitting the 4-year mark. 48 months. For Skeptic, that is fantastic.
We have 7 months for Embry's Elf. There's a Bow and Barrett seat. Help us. Yeah, I've been asked to grow out my beard, and I'm trying.
The Kid, Grimwolf, thank you guys very much. Night Hour 2005. My God, there's a lot of subs here out of nowhere. Ni Chao, thank you very much. Mittens with a good mic is showing. That is, here is my new toy.
Yeah. You have a white one. I have a black one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my Yeti. I've had that for a while, but now I've got it on this really cool.
This thing is amazing, yeah.
Boom, and with a shock mount and all this, and I feel like I'm a talk radio host, which is sort of appropriate, all things considered.
Yeah, so speaking of...
Dyke 101, Cosmic Patterson. My God, guys, this is nuts. Like, a lot of times we'll do the show, and we'll have a few people resubbing. This is just a shitload here. Imerus Al for 7...
Be the guest.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it could be very well that our lineup of guests and all the other great things. So real quick, we'll do a couple introductions of guests. We'll also do what's going on today and the craziness that's going on. So give me 1 second. So the guests this week are going to be interesting, because I honestly have no fucking clue how this conversation is going to go, because Hi Wanto's here. Hi Wanto, hello friend. How's it going?
Hello, it's going all right. I just came out of a 3-year relationship with a famous test FC called Vili, but apart from that, it's going. How are you?
Wonderful. So he fixed his Discord problem, so he won't be cutting out ever, which is going to be really amazing. Yeah. So that's cool. We have K Color here. Hi, K Color.
Hello. Is that like relationship status changed to complicated now? Hi.
Yeah, very sadly.
And then we also have Pro God here. Hi, Pro God.
What is up?
So, for those who don't know, there's a lot of interesting things going on in the game right now, and we're going to go talk about all of that. That's why all these guests are here. And then also, we also have one of the wonderful people at INN here, Life Shifter. He's the guy that runs streaming, handles all the streaming stuff. We're doing a big giveaway today. Wait, how can you not hear me? Like, what? I hope everyone can be heard. Maybe I need to turn.
They might actually just be trolling you. I
yeah,
have
it's
no idea.
possibly. But I did fix yours because I had you way up because you used to have a different microphone, but now you have a cool microphone. I have you at a normal setting, so that's good. But when it comes to the giveaway today, you have choices. We are giving away one of the following. You get to pick as the winner a Blue Yeti of any color. Blue Yetis are the microphones you see Mittens and I using. A Blue Yeti Nano of any color. A Lola headset, which these things are fucking amazing. You see them on our heads. The blue microphone boom compass arm, which is the thing that lets my microphone move around really easily. Or the Shock 3 radius mount, which is the thing that keeps our microphones from picking up any kind of movement. So you get to pick one. That's the giveaway today. Also, because it is a physical gift giveaway, there are some rules. For one, you need to be a follower because we can't PM you to get your details. If you are not a follower, it won't work. We tried. The whole PM thing is you must be a follower. And number two is if you are a subscriber, you will double the chance to win. So you'll get 2 times instead of 1 times. So that's a thing we could do for subscribers. So yay! High five, subscribers. But yeah, now jump into the meta show. Oh boy.
Okay, so where do we want to start today? Also, hopefully, I don't know if I'm still too loud. Since we did change the microphones up, we're seeing reports in chat that I'm too loud.
Yeah,
I guess I'm way too loud.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
You probably need to
Try
change
now.
your own settings, but
Testing. It's the same setting I had when I was doing the Fireside Chat a few minutes ago. So
Yeah, you're fine. I got you. I can adjust you. It's fine.
I'm waiting to see what the people say about whether I'm fine or not. Okay.
I'm just shocked that people are complaining the boat was quiet. Like,
There we go.
Oh,
Excellent burn. Well done. Well done.
That's all right. K Color's been on a roar this week. Pretty much everything that we've done, he's had a pun to go with it. One of the things we're going to talk about later in the show is about a fight in Hisek, and I used rocks to do something. And someone said, "Well, you should use praxises," and he's like, "Yeah, boat, because practice makes perfect."
so praxis makes perfect.
Yes, well, whatever. It's still fun. Great pun. But yes, first thing I want to talk about, and this has been in the news all week, all over Reddit, and Pro God's here because I want him to talk about this, is pretty much a nonstop stream of Pro God is wrong, capitals are not needing to be fixed this way. So Pro God, tell us, what is going on with the Pro God herf on capitals? What is going on with this?
Oh god, it's been fucking. So like Tuesday night, we were fucking around talking about capitals and no leaks and internally and tests and all that, and this is like 4 a.m. in the morning, and we were all talking about how like, fuck, man, CCP is not going to really change this shit. Like they've barely made any iteration on Rorquals or capitals for like 2 years. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a post. Let's just get some combat footage. We'll throw it on Twitch. We'll, start talking about it every day, and we'll post videos on Reddit, and we'll just start up a big uproar. There's multiple ways that you can go at CCP for game balance. You can do the CSM, and you can do the nice way. Or, as Matani, as you know, as y'all have done in the past, like, you can just start a fucking shitstorm. The old school Threadnought, the crash Drakes into tracking Titans over and over again until CCP finally realizes they're OP, things like that. So I was like, fuck it. Let's just do some stuff. Probably ill-advised to post a forum thread at like 4 in the morning and then, kind of meme about it a little bit. But it got on Reddit, and I was like, you know what? If it's on Reddit, let's just go ahead and do it. So felt pretty committed. We decided yesterday to post up a post on the Reddit about, what I thought capital changes needed to be. And these are things I've been talking about for a while. So, like, a lot of people don't know this, but the CSM members who are FCs, Killer Bee, Sword Dragon, they got all of the major FCs in the game together about 2 or 3 months ago before the last summit to talk about game balance. Mm-hmm. And we all threw some stuff out there, and most of what came out of that was the fax nerf, which was, you see how well that's working. But a lot of stuff that I talked about there in my post is what I talked about there. Not everyone agreed with it. Everyone had 1 or 2 things that they threw out there that not everyone agreed with. But this is stuff that's been out there for a little while. And I put it up on the Reddit and plugged my Twitch channel with it, which is, I'll admit, that's the wrong way to go about it, is trying to do it through a Twitch channel and all that. But I don't think that making a bunch of Reddit posts, a bunch of CCP please posts is a way to get anything done. So it was just going to be a different way to approach it. Clearly, it's not, something that's going to work out. So fuck
I mean,
it, whatever.
the original Threadnought, it's interesting that you use the Threadnought as an example. So I missed this. I was out of town from Tuesday to Thursday, and I've seen some of the aftermath of people posting about like you doing some sort of big Reddit thread. But the Threadnoughts never worked, actually. It just made CCP dig in their heels more. The original Threadnoughts, of course, that I'm referencing were back in the day when we discovered that CCP had a developer who was cheating, that big T20, who was in bed with Band of Brothers and giving his friends Saber BPOs, or just maybe one Saber BPO, and that was fine. But the point is that it doesn't really work. It just inflames your enemies, and it's not nearly as effective as an advocacy technique compared to going through the CSM. Which isn't to say that you should always use proper channels, because if those channels have been co-opted, maybe it's that. But I can't think of a single time that making a big stink on Reddit has ever accomplished anything. I'm kind of curious, ProGod, why you would do that, considering that the $1 million battle. I mean, did you at least get on Canadian TV this time?
Not this time.
So did it get you anything? Okay, all right.
This is one of my. This is my second most successful Reddit post, unfortunately. But no, it did not get me anything on TV. I don't know, dude. Like we've bashed CCP in a couple times with stuff. I would say like when you made that big push for occupancy sov, that actually spurred on what became FozzieSov, and I don't think that was
not really.
Yeah,
no.
could you please
FozzieSov was
apologize
kind of like,
for that?
I'm not going to apologize for that, because that's not actually what happened.
No, it's not what
when
we
we pushed
asked
for
for.
occupancy sov.
It's not what we asked for.
Ended up with a degree of occupancy sov because of the the fact that we actually have farms and fields for people to burn. Now, FozzieSov is something that can be laid entirely at Fozzie.
I'm just gonna say FozzieSov's the greatest invention to ever come out of EVE in the last 10 years, but that's just my opinion.
Fuck you, both.
Yeah, what I'm saying is we didn't get what we asked for necessarily, but that push is kind of what spurred them to change Dominion. And we did get tracking titans nerfed by bitching about them hardened, constantly, I feel like. But you're right, it doesn't work that often. But the advocacy channel, like we just did this like 3 months ago, where we went through the CSM. The CSM went there and said, here's what's wrong with capitals, and nothing happened. And we've been doing that for like a year now.
Why do you think CCP is going to suddenly start listening to you now? They just don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't think they are, but like, it's either say nothing and the game stays the way it is, which, that's not very hard to do, or say something and maybe the game changes, or it probably doesn't and it stays the way it is. So
now, some people are saying, ProGod, I'm going to ask you this, and this is a tough question, and it's one that's been spoon-fed to me. Which is that some people are suggesting that the reason why you're bringing this up has nothing to do with capital balance, but it's actually just sort of a way to try to provide an excuse from Test's current deployment. Now, I don't know enough about this because I was out of town during the middle of this week when all this shit kicked off. But what would you say to people who are suggesting that the only reason you're complaining about this now is that it would give you a way to say, oh, well, guys, we're leaving because capitals aren't balanced and, boo-hoo-hoo?
That's ridiculous. I mean, I just got done running an alliance meeting on test comms with the full alliance, and we explained to them in detail the mistakes we made and why we eventually had to pull out. We lost a couple of fights there in January after about 9 to 10 weeks of constant winning because we overextended and we, misjudged the situation we were in early January. It happens. I mean, when you're fighting under someone's super umbrella with just subcaps and capitals, it's pretty difficult. You have a very thin line that you can walk, and we fucked up. It's not that big of a deal. We were pulling back well before I decided to do this post. We had already announced to the alliance that we were leaving before I decided to do this post. It's not. In the things that I asked for wouldn't help us stay in Oizhinen right now anyway. So these are things that are actually a little separate from what I think. As far as our campaign is concerned, like these are changes I've been harping on for like a year and a half. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, for those of you that didn't catch this, ProGod was on here last week or the week before and talked specifically about how the campaign went and all that. So if you want to catch the VOD on that, there's a really good VOD of him talking about that. One of the points that he made reminded me this week of the Harkonnen deployment we did, where it's like you think 300 dreads is just enough. And it really isn't when Titans are around.
Yeah, well, we had a plan with the Dread Bomb. We had built up a large Dread cache. We had an idea of how many we would need to go up against a certain number of Titans. They ended up deploying over harder on us than we anticipated. They had more Titans and we had less Dreads. So we realized it wasn't going to work. We thought the only shot we had at ending this campaign on a high note was to set up a trap in AUTZ where numbers are typically smaller. But, you know, it got sniffed out. They were ready for it. It happens. It's not that big of a deal. So, you know, we gave it one shot to end on a high note. It didn't work out, and then we pulled out. Like we either could have done the AUTZ shot, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, or we could have just pulled out, you know, without doing anything at all.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do here. For people who missed the post, what I'd like to do is have ProGod explain his views on capitals and like what changes in particular are you pushing for, and then I'd like to open things up for a group discussion to hear K Color and Haiwanto's perspectives on your proposed fixes. So what exactly is it that you're proposing that we change about capitals, and then we'll shift over to Hai and K Color and get their views of what that should be.
So I wanted to bring up some things that aren't necessarily talked about because the main issue I see in this game. And I agree that Workles need to be looked at. And I agree, you know, skill injectors have kind of exacerbated some of the balance problems in this game. And I think Oracle tanks should be nerfed. And a lot of the stuff that people are talking about, I fully agree with. But my biggest concern is that there aren't as many fights as there used to be. And if you fought in any of the last wars over the last 2 years, you know this. There were not very many battles in the Southern War. There were not very many battles in the Northern War. The campaign I just ran in the North, there were not very many battles. There were 4, maybe 5 battles in December. There were 3 very big battles in November, and there were 4 in January. Contrast this to the Halloween War or the Fountain War. The Fountain War was a fucking trench war, like World War I trench war. It was constant, around the clock fighting. And the game mechanics are what dictates how that can happen. The problem that I view that prevents battles from happening, and it's not that Supers and Titans are so overpowered that you can't fight them. That's always been the case. Like Titans have been the most important ship, the thing that wins wars, for 10 years now. It's the little tiny things that prevent subcap fleets from engaging on a day-to-day basis. The word I was using with some other people is engageability. It's no longer viable to skirmish with people like you used to in the Fountain War or the Halloween War. In the Halloween War, not much progress was made, but there were fights every single day. Every time you fielded a Super or Titan fleet, it was a real fucking deal, and the subcaps were going to be there and fuck with you the entire time. I don't think the subcaps should be able to beat Supers and Titans or anything, but there are some things in the game right now that limit your ability to skirmish and to have day-to-day content. And I don't like having like 3 or 4 battles a month. It's fucking boring.
Well,
all right. So
the changes. So
what are the actual changes that you want to make?
The biggest changes I see is that the AOE attacks are limiting the subcap fleets that can be fielded. It's not that they can't be countered. It's that the way that they can be countered is so niche and so difficult to pull off that it limits it to like maybe.
So when you're talking about
FCs
AOE attacks, though, you're not talking about bosuns. You're talking specifically in the post, from what I understand. You've been focused on the GTFOs, right?
GTFOs and burst projectors, in my mind, are the biggest problems.
The only people who I've really seen be getting hit by a GTFO like was when Test was fighting.
It's happened
PL,
to us a couple
right?
times. Yeah, it's happened to us a couple times.
It hasn't been used a lot because there hasn't been a situation where it's like Titans and Supers.
Nobody goes after them. Like, we're really the only entity that will sit there and try and fight a capital fleet with 500 or 1,000.
Yeah, but why would you use a GTFO when you can just boson it?
Well,
if I'm sitting there,
you can GTFO LOSEC.
If you've got GTFOs and Halls on Titans, it creates this 100-kilometer sphere where you can't anchor a subcap fleet in heavy tie-dye. Because if it's in heavy tie-dye, it's too easy to aim mass GTFOs and lead a fleet with them. So there's a couple things that you can do on that. You can try and spread your subcap fleet out. But if you spread your subcap fleet out, then it becomes difficult to maintain transversal, because most people maintain transversal by anchoring a fleet. Now you can spread your fleet out by putting it on a lot of anchors, but this just keeps adding organization, adding more things you need to do before a fight. So it's not that none of the things I talked about can't be countered. It's that the amount of work that you have to put in to counter these things means that you can really only do it 3 or 4 times a month. So we countered some of this stuff in December. We fought the NC Supercap fleet, Supers and Titans, with nothing but subcaps. Granted, in low sec, so there was no bubbles and no bombs, but we did it in low sec with subcaps, and we killed like 67 billion IS worth of capitals, and we lost 15 billion IS. It is doable, but it took me and like 5 or 6 other FCs, fucking hours to set everything up for it. Which means that you're not going to be able to do that every day, which we didn't do every day.
Okay, so what I want to do now is shift things over to K-Color, now that we've heard what ProGod's position is, and we've sort of given ProGod the floor here for most of the show so far. So K-Color, I don't know if you have a rebuttal or if you have a counterpoint or if there is a different area of focus, but from what I've heard, you have some interesting commentary on ProGod's view. So K-Color, you have the floor. What's your take on ProGod's position?
Well, I had actually commented in his thread, and
that's why I'm asking you to say that.
Yeah, no, I'm just starting off my conversation with that. But in my opinion, Titans, Supers, Caps have been overpowered for years. And the only real difference now, and the only real difference in the amount of support that's being given to how overpowered these are, is that it's no longer just the NCPL side that have that superiority. Test, Goons, even Snuffed, Init, they've all somewhat caught up to that old NCPL kind of the numbers of that, and now suddenly they're like, well, maybe it is too powerful. And
I am amused by that. Yeah,
I read Muck's post about like how Bush Ravens are the counters to like Caps and Supers, but I wanted to post to the thread, but it has like 700 comments already. The reason why Bush Ravens work shooting Keep Stars is not because of the Bush Ravens. It's because of the Keep Star model. It's because of the fact that you could be in the middle of a Keep Star, the Bush Ravens can still shoot it, but they're 500 off of those capitals in the middle of the Keep Star. It's not because they're able to like if you were to take them against the Titan fleet and try to actually shoot the Titans could shoot back, and that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, Muck conveniently fails to mention that in his post in his effort to make a point. But let's not use one fight in which in CPL, like, let's not learn the wrong lessons from it. Like, they fucked up that fight. There's definitely a chance for them to win with the proper setup and the proper counters, but they just weren't prepared for it, and they fucked up royally. So like, even Bush Ravens, they're great. Like, Bush fleets are fine, but they're definitely counterable. They're not this, height of the subcap meta, as Muck calls them.
That's because Muck was bad with them with the rocks and they didn't work. But here's the thing that's different. If you remember, Mittens, you were a big proponent of pushing this, was the idea of waterboarding. Back in the day when they were using 400 carriers and a nice little ball, you could waterboard that. You could make them suffer every time they deployed caps. Okay? But nowadays, with 100 KM Sphere of Doom, I call it, because...
and the super Titans, carriers personal tracking hacks.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. Yeah. So Titans have a 100k sphere where anything that comes to the 100k is going to get obliterated. Also, fighters, like super fighters and carrier fighters, can travel 100k in about 5 seconds. So they can swarm Dictors. And as we learned in the fight in the X47L, to keep us waterboarded, as it were, they had to go through something like 200, 300 Dictors. And it's not economically viable to hold someone down every single time they use caps, because you bleed Dictors in the market is just unsustainable. So that's just one of those things where in the past you could sit there and make it a sufferable experience for someone just to use caps. You can't now. It's impossible now.
And because it's impossible, no one tries. And that's the biggest point here. Like, people are like, well, your subcaps can't beat supers anyway. And I'm like, yeah, but the difference is, like, back in the Halloween War, there was only one big super fight. But there was 3 months before that where there was constant daily content, where there was waterboarding, there were subcap fleets fighting each other. Titans were always powerful back in the day, but you didn't always jump them in because you knew if you jumped them in, you were in for like a 4 to 5 hour shit show. So you tried to win with subcaps first. Everyone did. Right. Now you don't even bother with forming subcap fleets. A lot of people don't even form subcap fleets anymore. There's not even a point.
Yeah, and
I'm a little confused by that because I mean we form up multiple subcap fleets.
No, he means like Homeland Defense. Like when we do Homeland Defense, we just form caps and boom, problem solved. The guy saved. The subcaps have to go home, and you're seeing that around Eve with the capital umbrellas. Is in the past, if a capital umbrella in the past could have been waterboarded for hours and made it a living nightmare to drop your caps to save people, you'd also have to form subcaps and really dedicate yourself to defending the house. Nowadays, caps can literally protect a sphere of influence. Really simple with just 50 carriers.
I want to hear what Hywanto has to say about all of this.
Well, Progod and Keikle are right to different extents. I kind of like to look at Eve now as like a boat where everyone's like huddling together for safety and CCP's just rocking the boat. And like eventually we're all just going to fall into the ocean and have to go outside. But it's kind of like Titans are OP, but if you go back to, for example, the NBC days and stuff, whatever, there was one fight where PL had a big T3 fleet and Goons dropped Titans with supers and they were still tanking them because back then Titans weren't so overpowered in tracking. Like you perfectly apply all your damage with the Titans, and the problem isn't the fact that they're so overpowered. It's the fact that everyone has them, like Keikle said, and it's the proliferation. Like everyone has supers and Titans, and you can't go on the offensive properly against someone unless you basically take all of your super fleet towards them and then go on a massive grind. There's no incentive behind doing that. So it's just kind of a lot of big problems that are just adding up to the point where people are just fed up because it is so much effort for FCs now to set up fights. Like Progod said, if you want to go on a campaign, you're going to have to 100% commit and just completely no-life it because you have to do so much planning and prep to actually pull off anything relevant.
And the proliferation is an issue in that it exacerbates any balance issue, any imbalance that's there because, as Titans are an issue right now. They were back when people were fielding 60-man Titan fleets. Now, any minor OP-ness of Titans is amplified by the fact that you can field 300 of them. But unfortunately, that cat's out of the bag. Like, what are they going to do? Delete Titans from the game? I mean, I'm up for it. I'm up for it if they want to. But
it's gotten to the point now. I mean, like I said, in the past, the idea of Watermark, I explained it in chat for those confused. 1,000-man subcap fleet could really be a dick to 200 capitals. Nowadays, you're going to just bleed subcaps, and eventually you'll get to the point, like in the old Drake days, Drake's versus Tracking Titans. It's no longer Tracking Titans where they can hit you at 300k. It's 100k. But you can't tackle them if you can't get within that 100k.
Well,
you hit people at 300.
Even if you had a lot of Titans, let's roll back to 2014 here. If you had a subcap fleet and they dropped carriers, supers, and Titans on you, the only real thing they could do damage to you was the sentry drones coming out of the carriers and super carriers. And they had 130, 140 kilometer range. And unless they had a shit ton of them, you could actually tank them. They were only doing like battleship damage. A Slowcat Archon did like 500 DPS. Like, it was such a different game where you could sit there on grid with the capital fleet if you really wanted to.
You also had way more tactics back then, like, for example, in BTAG-R, where Goons just kind of locked down PL and NC staging. You can't do that anymore because they can just PDS the undock. You can't, like, bubble down an undock. Right. It's really shit. You can't help.
There's been a lot of things that have been taken, like the complexity that went to a number of engagements. I think that there is a broader point here. So I'm going to take your idea that there are less fights and that it takes a lot more efforts to arrange a fight and run with it in a different direction, away from the capital thing. Because I think that one of the major seeds of fights in EVE Online that you don't see as much anymore comes from the fog of war. At every turn, when CCP implemented FozzieSov, they took away a tremendous amount of recon gameplay. Like back in the day, you actually had to get an actual human being in a spaceship to get eyeballs on a SOV structure, on any kind of timer, on a POS, on something, record that information, inform FCs, and then decisions would be made about a local battle. BR5 happened because of an accident, because Manny fucked up. Regardless of all the excuses he's made for years after that, he screwed up. He had confidence. There was a fog of war situation. They dropped the SOV because they fucked up a bill payment, and oops, shit happens in a fog of war. Battles happen because unexpected opportunities present themselves, because in the fog of war, people make mistakes. And I think that a lot of that has gone away from the game. I've always been against capitals and super capital supremacy. Goonstorm has always been in favor of subcapitals being the core gameplay of EVE. And even though we now have the largest fleet of Titans and Supers the game has ever seen, I'm still, if CCP were to delete Titans and Supers tomorrow, I'd be delighted for it, and then we'd crush everybody because we'd win at subcaps. Right. But you know what I mean. But I think that in general, pinning the blame on capitals, which I'm happy to do in a lot of cases, for a lack of engagements, I think is seen. I think it may have more to do with a trend against the fog of war. We need a game of imperfect information because that results in opportunities and errors to create engagements.
That's
I
where we're at.
agree with that.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. Because of the perfect information, you have perfect information and you have these umbrellas. It means that it becomes a game, and maybe High will agree that with the way that they play drops, it becomes a game of how quickly can you get on the field, do as much damage as possible, and get the fuck out within 5 to 10 minutes before they've had the chance to quickly get a force in to respond. Because once they have enough facts, once they have enough capitals, Titans, the fight's over. Like, it just ends right there. Boom, done. You're gonna just bleed at that point. You get no more gains for very huge losses. We saw this with Test and Geminate. We saw this several times where High's done drops. Him and I can't remember the wonderful Russian guy's name, where they dropped in tribute. They had to quickly get in there, capitalize on NC making a fuck up, and then get out before NC could fully recover and kill all the dreads. So that's where the game mentality, that's where we're at now, right? Is do a whole shitload of planning, quickly punch him in the face, and then run as fast as way as you can, and then do it again a week later.
And
the issue isn't like, it's not just capitals, it's the fact they're not balancing capitals and subcaps. Like, they aren't balancing as much as they used to and as much as they should. And their balances are really weak. It's not just that capitals are too OP, it's that subcaps are kind of shit. Like, the Moonins are super overpowered and Feroxes are still kind of OP. There's no, they're not really balancing anymore. And yeah, you're right, Boat, about the other stuff you said.
All right, real quick, just a quick second, just to tell people right now, for the giveaway, you'll see people typing !ticket in chat. That's how you get registered. You'll notice we have 95 people on the list. We'll do the giveaway at the end of the show. We're going to do a little extra segment where we do an unboxing, then a giveaway. So you have to type !ticket. I didn't clarify that at the beginning. I need to do that now. And then also, you say Feroxes. So this is a great segue because our next topic of discussion, before we get to the Haiwanto gets to slap everybody moment, is I call this the race to the bottom. And why I say this is, the reason I call this a race to the bottom is that the HiSec fight I'm going to link right now, this is a HiSec fight that just took place last night. It was literally who can bring the cheapest Feroxes, who could bring the cheapest Logi, while at the same time killing as much as humanly possible to make the battle report reflect a win. You'll notice that even NC Dot had T1 Ospreys and T1 Fit Feroxes, and someone you would never expect to go cheap, going cheap for the pure plan of hoping to kill more than they lose. So,
stock up your faction hurricanes.
Hi, K-Color. How's it going? Tell us about this.
No, it's just, I mean, HiSec is a very different beast. Like, there's no point in bringing the blinged out ships compared to like low-sec or null-sec. There's no MMJDs. There's no bubbles. It's very easy to get trapped just by points. But obviously with the no bubbles, it's kind of easier to get out. So what you see is people just, the ship's going to die. There's enough alpha to kill pretty much any subcap ship, and that's all you can bring, right? You can't bring fax, can't bring triage. You have no real way of just setting up on a grid and staying there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to bring a ship that, how much damage can I do before I die? And that's what we're seeing in HiSec now. I think that's why we saw a Test kind of swap off of the Dominixes and Nestors. They could trade with the Feroxes, but they're 3 or 4 times the cost. So
once you get up to a certain number, there's just no tank possible. Yeah. It's by the way, our official name for it is the trade wars, because as everyone knows, trade wars are good and easy to win. So that's what we're gonna
And
call it.
regardless of a political thing, it does make me happy because Trade Wars 2002 was one of the original BBS games that I played back when I was in junior high school and was first on my 286 connecting to the internet. I guess it was pre-internet in those days. And yeah, Trade Wars 2002 was probably the first space conquest game that I played, and is probably one of the reasons why I ended up liking EVE.
Why I love this fight yesterday and why I think CCP is going to love these fights is it shows that even the guy in an alpha clone, because alpha clones can fly Feroxes, can join in on something like this. The guy that's new to the game, that just saw this big 1,300-man fight right outside of Jeddah, is going to be going, oh, wow, I can do that. Like, I can afford that. I can be a part of that. And that is, I think, bigger than the some of the fights they've had recently, Titan fights, for as far as getting people involved in the game, getting people to join in. Feroxes are kind of AIDS. They need balanced. They're so nasty. They can tank really hard. I tried the smart bomb them yesterday, failed. It was great.
Yeah,
The battle report looks so skewed because of that, because we landed, and because tie-dye, by the time we landed, even though we were only 1,000 kilometers away, they'd already moved like 10K, so we completely missed. We smart bombed anyway. We all died. It was glorious. It was so fun. But that's the thing. If you notice, if you remember, during the war 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, you had groups like Snuff who could do faction Dead Space Macarios with slaves and super blinged out legions. And then you see something like this in HiSec, and it's polar opposite. It's how cheap can you be? So, I mean, Hiwanta, what do you think about the way that the HiSec fight went down yesterday?
I mean, you can still do that in Nullsec. Like, if you take a 300-man Ferox fleet against a blinged out Mac fleet, you're still going to trade really well, right? It's not about, because they're still going to be alphaing Max. You can't counter the BC spam. But yeah, you're right. I'm not sure about the new player aspect of it, because I don't think new players would really enjoy the 10% tie-dye fights, straight off the bat.
I thought it was cool.
I will say that one of my favorite things about those HiSec fights is all the neutral spectators that just show up to watch. It is kind of cool watching like the gallery over there just checking out the fight.
I think Concord was so funny yesterday too, because at one point, Mint and Jill might find this hilarious. Our enemies in NC and such started using neutral boosters. And I think at one point, someone broadcasted one of the neutral boosters as a target, and like 30 goons shot it, and Concord vaporized all 30. It just deleted them. And so you end up having situations.
HiSec is the most dangerous area in the game. Like this is
the neutral boosters here. Corgi's got. He told me during the fight, he's like, "Yeah, I just had 30 people try to shoot me. Oops." So yeah, this shit is it's great to watch because HiSec is scary. I hate HiSec. It terrifies me. It's such a fucking mess. War decks are a pain because people can invalidate war decks, and I don't even know how the fuck it works. You try to smart bomb war decks, and sometimes people die. You can use things like neutral Logi and neutral boosters, which can't be shot because they're neutral and they're not war deckable. Like you have to set safeties and pray to God that you put your safety right. And then you pray to God you lock the right target. It's just such a great mess. I love it. It's just wonderful. I don't know. I'm curious what everyone else. I mean, this seems to be...
those HiSec fights, they're okay. Like, once you actually get into it and you realize, like, it's just 250 people on top of 250 people and you're just broadcasting targets. Like, it's fun for a moment and then it kind of gets really repetitive. There's not too much nuance to the fight.
I think people are going to hate it as soon as they actually show up for that armor timer and they have to do 6 plated Keepstar DPS in 10% tie-dye while trying to fight a 500.
People already hate it. Everyone is complaining on it.
Yeah. The Reddit posts were pretty great about how bad this is. And then another interesting point is, since we're talking about dread bombs, Skill, you pulled off a great one recently. Killed 200 billion in hells and such. And to comment on this real quick as we get ready to move on to what Hai wanted to talk about and why he's here, is that this dread bomb worked because no Titans. Titans delete dreads really easily. If you just try to throw 10 super carriers at 90 dreads, you're going to just lose them. So
Well,
I want to say here real quick before I put us into Cool Kids Only mode, we do this the last 15 minutes of every meta show, and that's subscribers only in chat. So if you want to get a ticket for the giveaway and you're not a subscriber, you should probably do that in like the next, I don't know, 30 seconds before I silence you or until the show ends.
Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, that dread bomb worked because, you know, it was just a random ratting thing. They dropped ratters. They weren't ready to respond. They got out in 5 minutes. I mean, those have always worked. But as far as, like, using dreads in an actual capital battle, yeah.
And so, hi, you're here today, and you came to me a couple days ago and was like, look, I want to come on the Meta Show because I want to talk about something that's been going on. So why don't you tell us what that something is and what you wanted to do? Because your views on things tend to be very interesting because you tend to just shit on everybody, as you did last time.
Yeah, boy, but I'm missing my brother Billy here, you know? My love of my life. Where art thou, Billy? Come to me. Cometh to my heart. Anyways, so basically, we knew Tess was doing a move up. We already had like an op posted for like a different timer that was happening locally. We pre-staged Titans, took ages, blah, 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 a couple hours. Then really just like pokes me and is like, hey, are you guys coming to shoot our Fortizar? Because they were onlining Fortizars for their move up. And I'm just like, oh, because we were listening to their comms and we could hear that they were spooked by everyone else forming, but everyone else is forming for the other timer in Amamake. So I'm like, oh, there's a timer here. You know, people are probably going there. I didn't say like what we were doing because I'm not an idiot and I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, we're coming to kill you, by the way. Let me just waste like 4 hours of my guy's time. And then he got like all offended and played it off as a betrayal. Even though we're neutral, we've been neutral forever, and it was just really, really dumb. And yeah, I was like, you know, I'm not going to sacrifice my guy's time just, you know, so he can like do a move up. You know, we're not blue, we're not friends. I don't give a fuck about them. I give a fuck about my guys, right? And it was just really, really dumb. So yeah, ProGod. Why? Why was really so emotional?
I mean, you know, anytime you lose a Titan and a Super, you're going to be a little pissed off. And you're gonna say some shit, but you know, Billy was under the impression because he was just coming back that we'd been working closely together than we were, closer together than we were, and he just didn't expect that was something y'all would do. It is what it is, man.
It's very weird, right? He's been playing this game for a long time. You'd expect him to, you know, it's like asking us to hold your dick and then not expecting us to jerk you off while you're trying to take a piss, right? It's gonna happen.
I wouldn't know about that, Mr. Wanto. I don't understand that at all.
I'm not sure I understand that metaphor.
I don't get that. I don't never.
You wouldn't understand that metaphor unless you're gay, and if you're gay, you're unsnuffed out. That's why everyone hates us, because this is a homophobic game, and we're just a load of gay people trying to make a name for us. EVE Online.
Oh my god.
I think that really wanted to join, and he just wanted to be part of the gay orgy that is snuffed out. He wanted to experience.
You know, I used to be part of the gay orgy, right? You remember that?
Yeah, that was good. You like dumpstered Black Legion Max.
I did.
On the one thing you did for
us.
So, hi, since you're on here and you want to talk about throwing poo at people, is there anyone you really dislike at the moment? Like, is anyone? Because last time you came on, you said some things that Mids was even like, "Oh, what the fuck? I wish I could say that." I mean, is there anybody right now that really is on your list of throwing poo at?
You know, I can just give a general shout out to everyone. Big shout out to Pandemic Cord. You know, they're finally role reversaled. You know, NC Dot now. NC Dot's taking it up the ass from Horde. Horde's, you know, carrying them on their back.
That is
NC Dot can't shit
that.
by. And big ups to my man Headliner. Can't take out anything bigger than a Ferox. New MC. You know, taking in all the trash. How PL has fallen. And,
wow, beautiful.
I gotta know. I mean, what's your opinion about the fact that all of these, what you consider good,
all tea, no shade here on the Meta Show, boys and girls.
Right. You
got nothing on us.
You got all these great legendary corps joining Horde and leaving PL at NC. What do you think about that?
I mean, the thing is, why would you be in these trash alliances that can't even use Supers and Titans when you can be in this really elite, you know, alliance that's getting all these fights and high second stuff, getting to use their Feroxes and their Titans? You know, you would definitely want to go to Horde. Why would you bother going to PL and NC, right? You don't want to, you know, wait in the queue. You want to go straight to the top dog. And they're the top dog right now.
I mean, you do see Corpse leaving PL and joining Horde, so there's something to that. I mean, Kismetir is now in charge of the resurgent Bat Country, a proud member of Horde with their 5 active pilots as of sometime last week. So, when you do see corporations leaving PL and joining Horde,
and CO2's in Horde.
That's a wake-up call, I think.
You have CO2, like 5 corps joined NC Dot. I mean, I feel like the might has fallen, right? We talked about this pretty much ad nauseum.
The might has fallen.
In the past, you have all these people who would flock to the elite PvP organizations because they were considered elite. But it's gotten to the point where everybody is pretty much equal on the Titan and Super game based on the last couple wars. Maybe we're even past them. I say equal as in, like, you can go to pretty much anywhere in EVE and you're going to get to use a Titan and Super at some point in some way, right? It's not just restricted to these select groups like it was in the past. The power creep has spread. I'm trying to go for
how many corps have joined Test from NC recently? Because
3 or 4. We turned a couple down too. So
oh man, how?
Wait, what? Hold on, go back a second. Wait, you turned a couple down?
Yeah, we turned 2 down.
Okay, who are the 2? Call them out. Let's go.
Oh man, I'm not sure.
Who are they?
No, I don't know if I should do.
Come on, who are they? You're on the Meta Show. Let's go.
The Collective was one, I think.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Okay,
Talk about how the mighty have fallen. The Collective, the original Icelandic elite corp, was turned down by Test trying to join from NC. What?
Okay, what was the other one? What was the other one?
Hold on, I have to look at their fucking Dahlin page. One second.
Okay, because this is golden. This is great. Right here on the Meta Show, boys, live, right here. We find out the greatest.
Wow, like the Collective is a corp that was like the top tier of AAA during the Evil Thug era.
Yeah, but they're pretty trash now, Matani.
I mean, so are a lot of people, but I mean,
wow.
Look,
I'm honestly, I'm glad they finally got a little swagger back these past couple weeks, and they're talking shit again, because it was getting real depressing up there. They were talking about quitting the game, just all of them. I mean, they were all quitting the game 3 months ago, and talking about how this is over, fuck this shit, and now they finally got a little swag back. They're finally talking a little shit again. It was getting really fucking quiet.
So was that really just actually like a strategic Dread feed to get them kind of back into the game? Is that?
I mean, yeah, man. We need something going. I mean, it was depressing, man.
There's a lot of sexual tension between Vince Draken and ProGod, and they kind of had to let it all out artistically.
That's very true.
Let's find the one system that's in range of every single hostile stager and do a Dread bomb.
I think what gave it away was ProGod pinging for Dreads 2 hours before it.
I fucked that up. I got anxious that we weren't going to get enough people, so I was like, if I just ping just a little bit, just a tiny amount, be like, hey man, if you got a Dread, something might be going on in 2 hours, but no big deal, it's real chill.
We on the Meta Show, we figured it out. Everybody was telling ProGod, look, they got 90 supers ready to log in. Don't do this. And he's like, I think we'll be fine.
I don't know.
He was giving him a strategic feed. That's it, right there. See, Muck Bavarian declaimed that the reason, subcaps are fine is because you guys won that fight against all those Titans and killed that Keepstar with just subcaps. And that's the reason. We weren't trying to strategically feed them.
God,
we weren't
that
trying
was
to
such
give
a
them morale.
stupid post.
Yeah, but MJDs also need to be nerfed. Like, fuck MJD destroys, honestly.
No,
they do.
They need buffed.
I think chain MJDing could be looked at, and maybe some kind of delay or something. I love the MJD concept, the whole Command SE thing. I love it, but doing 10-12 in a row.
What I think
that
is
could be looked at.
To fix that though. What I think how you fix that is anyone that's been MJD'd recently gets a cooldown similar to the MJD timer. So if you jump a fleet of 200, they all share the cooldown, so they can't be MJD'd again for a little bit.
Well, I don't mind the whole spearfishing thing where you do you start 200 kilometers away and you chain 3 of them together. I kind of don't want to get rid of that, because MJDs will be if you can only really do one MJD and then everyone else gets a cooldown, then you can really only warp your command SEs on top of the enemy fleet, which is fine.
Perfect.
But Yeah,
It makes
I
them
don't know.
killable then, because like right now spearfishing's a thing where like some guy was telling me
It's
this.
really hard to get spearfish.
Well, when I went to TKE, right, and did a thing with jackdaws, and this guy comes, speaks up on comms, and he's like, "Look, boat, just give me the 5 MGDs we have. Watch this," and like we're 300 off the enemy, and all this like a second later, boom, 3 Macarials and 2 command ships are 200k from the enemy, and he's like, "Yeah, I just did a timing jump and spearfished them." It's like,
yeah,
fuck.
we were slicing up the NC dot
So, I mean,
last week as well.
Spearfishing makes it so you could stay out of enemy range, grab their ships, and then jump them away, and it's just like, holy fuck. But if you do the fatigue,
No,
sharing.
you don't have
Perfect.
the counter for it. Like that can be countered. Like it takes a long time to set that up. You basically have to be sitting there, staring at these 5 command SCs 300 kilometers off, aligning at you, and be like, "Holy shit! I wonder what they're about to do," and do nothing about it. Like,
look, but anyway, here's another thing. So, so you say NC dot. What was that other corp? Did you find it yet, by the way?
oh fuck.
While you search for that, hi Wanto, I gotta ask you this.
It's VDD, I think.
VDD.
What-
Wow.
what?
Wow.
No. I think there was rumors they were gonna leave. I don't think.
Okay,
they
who
actually
is the guy? You gotta find it. But while you're finding it, this is important. I wanted to get a Horde perspective. Now, we know that Killer B frequents this show, but I didn't think to PM him this week because I knew Haiwanto would be here and there'd be enough salt for the day, because Haiwanto tends to make people upset. But I PM'd Alpha Star Pilot because he's been the center of attention in Horde. He's been on talk shows, you know, spreading
One of the most risk-averse motherfuckers in the game.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
me. in the...
We'll get to that guy in a second. We'll talk about him in a second. But he didn't. He was like, "Look, I'd love to come on your show, but the higher ups have deemed I cannot go on an INN show because that gives money to our enemies, and that's not allowed." And that is the exact quote from him. On top of that, he says this. Hold on, he says this while he attended Open Comms, which is an INN show, just a day or a couple days earlier.
People really need to make up their mind when it comes to INN. Like you can either have it, you can have it one way or the other. You can either make fun of the multi-dollar media empire because it doesn't make any money, or you can say it makes too much money. But it's kind of weird to be like, well, Batani doesn't make anything off INN, but I'm not going to go on there because he's not like it. Just doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it says my people in my camp think giving INN views is just making them more money. That is counterproductive to our goals.
Well, I think it's probably just because he didn't want to get dragged in
Yeah.
front of everybody.
What's their
Like he would have just
goal?
gotten owned. He's Alpha Star Pilot.
It's Alpha Star Pilot. I don't know. I mean, they had Stedio on INN too, so I don't give a fuck. But here,
What's
Is this
their
really
goal,
a goon
though?
propaganda show? Is this really a goon propaganda show? I mean,
really-
I can
I
talk
mean-
shit about Bastion, TNT, Test if you want.
yeah, but you
Yeah,
talk shit
all
about
the-
everybody. So
Yeah.
just-
Test aren't allies.
You're
with
a kid,
goons.
you're allowed
That's
to.
Test
Come
I'm
on,
surprised-
God.
I'm surprised
He's supposed
ASP
to shop.
didn't agree to come on, see how many people were here, and then claim he had real life and had to go.
Oh yes, so okay, so we can make fun of that. Last week he got this big fleet ready of 70 guys to counter 300 goons. And when he did, he realized he wasn't going to have enough. He's like, "Oh, guys, real life just came up. I've got to drop fleet. Got to go." And like half an hour later, he was on Open Comms. So I mean,
they just, the other thing is they don't want to risk getting humiliated in public, right? Like if they say something stupid and we call them on it, it might look bad.
right? I think that's,
Whatever. People are always going to have dumb excuses for why they are weak.
I think that's why like Killer B, he just don't give a fuck, right? Like a lot of these people, especially in Horde now, especially with Horde resurgence and more Horde starting to show up, they're starting to whatever. They're starting to act like PL used to, where it's like their egos matter. Killer B just don't give a fuck, which is why I like him.
Killer B has a massive ego. What the fuck are you on about?
No, Killer B is a relaxing, wonderful guy. Come on now.
Alright, dude.
I mean,
Killer B is fucking massive.
hey, he'll still come on the show. I mean, it's good for him.
Yeah, dude. Hey guys, I'm Killer B. I'm the fucking best. Ha ha ha. Suck my dick. It's Killer B, okay?
I mean, if he was the best, he wouldn't have got dumpstered yesterday and lose 253 Feroxes to kill 80, but that's just me.
he
I
wasn't
do have-
FCing that was
Those are the
Scotland.
numbers.
Yes,
God, I-
yes,
look at
Killer B was FC'd the NC Dot fleet. They lost 253 battle cruisers. They killed 80. The only reason the Battleport even looks remotely good is that the Goon FC suicided 5 recons at the start, and then I blew up 20 rocks to try and do something gimmicky. The only reason that even looks remotely close.
Frogo.
I
Frogo,
do have
can I
a
ask
question.
Oh, please go ahead.
Would you try to rent out a region that doesn't have half of its iHubs in, like, even existing anymore? Like, does that sound like a good business plan? Then?
Are you gonna run out period basis? We'll take that off your hand.
No. I try to rent out Kavala Expanse. You know.
Well, you have to take that from Skill Yourself,
Well,
and they're best buddies with Horde, so good luck.
I gotta ask, in tune with K-Color's question, when are they gonna put up new iHubs? Because TNT self-destructed 5 iHubs like a week ago, and they still haven't been replaced.
I want to know. I mean, I guess this is where all that money was. I want to know how they're maintaining operations, because where are they making money now? They lost their high sec markets. They lost their rental region. They don't Oracle mine that.
Doesn't Horde RMT? Because I swear they do a thing where if you donate to the website, they give you like gobloons or whatever the fuck it's called, and then for each gobloon you can get in-game money. So it's technically them RMTing.
Well, that's actually how they do reimbursement. It's company scripts from like the 1930s. You don't get reimbursement money. You get these goobloons or whatever the fuck they're called, and then you trade those in for reimbursement money for the ship you lost.
Yeah.
So that seems overly complicated.
Wow.
No, it's
God
literally
balloons?
a money laundering scheme.
What?
You haven't heard about this, Matani?
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
I mean, I knew it was a shit show, but I didn't know how much of a shit show it is.
You didn't know
that's
about the gabloons?
No, I didn't, because if I knew about the gabloons, I would have been relentlessly mocking that motherfucker to his face. Like, I would have said something in Vegas when we had our little chat,
he's had this for a year or two.
So, because, his, like, McDonald's franchise analogy where he was talking about how he didn't really give a fuck about his members because he sees his alliance as a McDonald's franchise, and how as long as he has customers, it's all fine and he's all happy. If I knew that he was doing the space equivalent of giving Big Macs that don't even taste good to people and dubbing them gobloons, fuck. Wow, that is. I am delighted to hear that Bad Country is in there, because I want to hear about Kismatir and his friends who decided to betray Goonswarm, cashing in their gobloons and trying to tell themselves that they've moved up in the world. And I bet it'll help them sleep at night. How many gobloons do you have to cash in to get a battleship back?
I think it's like 10 for 100.
I think they're worth like. They're either worth 10 million-isk or 100 million-isk. You get them for a
10
lot
mil
of things.
for one. Yeah,
Okay,
it's like combining the worst aspects of EA and an alliance run by Gobbins together in one even worse.
I mean, he's kind of self-centered, right? He named them after himself. It's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, we can't really go there because we did call this the Matani.com for a while. I mean, it's just saying.
Well, I mean, it's my website, so I made it the Matani.com.
But he doesn't want to copy Matani, right?
Wow. Well, here's Matani Box.
Gabloon.
You can get them for a lot of things, actually. It's so you get them like if you're in the standing defense fleet, you get them over time just through their PAPS tool.
Oh, what the fuck are mine?
You get them for SRP. I think you get them for mining. They're kind of just like rewards. They're the carrots to the for the Horde members.
Oh,
what are you gonna do about Skill Yourself, by the way? Because they're gonna like suffocate you. They're like that fat girl that you meet on the street, and then she sits on your face, and then she suffocates you to death. They're not about seducing you and getting you in bed. They like to take their time. So, what's your?
Oh, well, I think we're gonna. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna go over there tomorrow. There's a big fight tomorrow happening in Teniferous. We're all gonna go over there and see what happens.
Okay. There was a joke on this, Haiwanto, and I gotta get your opinion on this, where it's like Skill U versus XX, and the caption was, "Who can call the Chinese first?" So, what do you think of that war going on with Skill U and XX right now?
I mean, Skill Yourself is like us, but like more kind of elitist. They're pretty lazy as well. We're pretty lazy, but they like to take their time. They won't, if they just keep having to fight blobs, they're just going to take their time and kind of, they like to grief people basically to death. That's what they did to DRF. And yeah, China is their backbone, but I think it's like China versus Test again in the blobbing, and Test is going to win the blobbing because Test is a massive blob. So,
yeah, they're a fat girl, but we're a fatter girl, so we got that covered.
How does that work then? Like, I don't understand. You're confused.
What I don't understand is why we haven't segued to doing our giveaway.
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to go ahead and remove the subscribers only mode, so anybody who was a late comer to this can get some ticket.
I will not be putting my name in exclamation point ticket because that'd be rigged. These giveaways, I swear to God, they have to be rigged because so many people have said, "Look, I'm going to win," and then Bambi wins. But type exclamation point ticket to get involved. If you've already done it once, you can't do it again because you've already entered once. Don't forget, you must be a follower because I can't PM you, or LifeShifter can't PM you unless you're a follower. And then, yeah, so I want to thank our guests real quick. We're going to go away from the Eve thing, and we're going to go to the giveaway, which will just be a picture.
Make it rain on the boys and girls.
Right, it'll just be a picture of LifeShifter. Yeah,
from the multi-dollar media empire.
Yeah, last words. Anyone want to say anything else before we go here?
I still think Harry X should win it so he can never use it.
Okay, Color. Steve Dalton says she misses you. I'm just gonna pass that on. That's all.
Aww.
Who?
I don't know. She's in my alliance, okay? I'm just embarrassing.
Wow.
Holy shit. And then Pro got anything else?
Yeah. The NC.Law said H-Tech 5 keeps our fight because they fucked up, not because Boosh Ravens are good. That post was really stupid.
All right.
I still have beef with that one guy in Snuff who stole my YouTube comment to make a Reddit thread.
I mean, that's what we like to do, right? We steal people's hearts and their minds, and then we, jizz all over their dreams. Big shout out to my man Billy. I'll win your heart back anytime, baby. I'm the Bollywood.
You said you would invite me to the next Dread Bomb. You said that.
We have, dude. Okay, next time we Dread Bomb test, you can
They
be
did.
invited.
You were there.
That one.
All right, we got to go.
All right, boys and girls,
Stay here.
let's get some stuff away. We are going to. I don't know how we're going to do that. Are you going to flick a switch and
yes,
we're going to?
I'm gonna flick a switch. You guys are.
All right, here we go.
And bam!
We'll
Hi,
do
Live
the
Shifter.
unboxing first. Hey, everybody. So right here, I wanted to drop by and kind of do an unboxing for Blue because they were nice enough to give INN, of course, a lot of our gear that you're seeing here on stream today, especially with the Metanian boat. Definitely check out here. It's like I got the Blue Ember to do kind of like a quick unboxing. Really just kind of checking out their brand new mic. If you guys haven't seen it, it came out last month. It's like a studio condenser mic for streaming and recording.
Boat, can you make him louder?
I just did. I made him really loud, but he needs to turn himself up. That's as loud as I can make him.
Oh, okay, is that a little better?
Much better.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna check out some of the stuff that's here. You guys can see where everything goes. They actually have, if you guys are new to Blue or don't have them or have them and you're not sure how to use them, always face forward or to the front or back is always kind of goes with it. We've got our book. We're gonna go into just the actual mic itself, which is actually gonna kind of replace, you'll actually see me replace mine here soon. So it actually has its own dongle for like their Compass boom arms. If you guys haven't seen the Compass boom arms, Matani and Boat also have it. And here is actually the mic itself. So it's actually pretty comparable to our the previous mic that I actually have right now. So this is actually the Blue Ember, the brand new mic. This one actually tells us we have to be facing the front. The Spark SL, which you see here on my stand, this is actually a Blue product also, with the Blue Compass arm. So actually this little guy just goes on here. I replace the mic inside of this, and I'll have this guy in here. You'll actually be able to hear it tomorrow on my channel. If you guys see me on my channel, twitch.tv, RuneShift Gaming. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We have ourselves like the actual Blue Ember. So if you guys haven't checked it out, it's $99 over on Blue site, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And,
for the.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
For the giveaway today, you have a choice. So if you do get chosen in the giveaway here in just a moment, again, 255 people are entered. Make sure you type exclamation point ticket to get involved. You get a choice. So if you win, you get a choice. A Blue Yeti of any color. I think it's white, black, or that's it. A Blue Yeti Nano.
Oh no, there's 9 colors for the main Yetis now.
Ooh, 9 colors. Okay, well, you get a choice, any color. Blue Yeti Nano, a blue microphone Lola headset. These things are amazing. I can attest to how great they are. And
yeah,
then
that's
the Blue
what
Compass arm.
Matani and Boat are both wearing today is the Lola headsets.
Blue Compass arm and the Blue Radius 3 shock mount. No, you cannot pick K color or Haiwanto. They are not for sale. But yeah, here in a minute, we're going to give it we'll do it at Reddit 5:10, so it's actually 2 minutes. So you have 2 minutes to...
you know what? At this point, everybody's had ample opportunity
so?
to do this
Okay.
for the entire show. So if they miss out on it, but it's because they are fools and did not listen to us when we gave them the
I mean, I gave them warning.
We're giving free shit away, but we're not going to hold your hand while you do it. So let's roll it and make it happen.
I'll actually be posting in chat, so you guys could contact me directly for the winner. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and close the giveaway. All right, so the giveaway is closed. And we're going to draw a winner. And the winner is Sakulu011.
So whoever that is needs to
something.
actually get in touch with the channel, or else we will give it away to some.
Yeah, type in chat here so we can see that you're. Oh, he goes. Oh my God. Okay, he's there. Cool. Nice.
All right, contact RuneShift Gaming, dude. So he's already RuneShift Gaming has put his thing in chat. Please, RuneShift Gaming.
That's
And,
amazing. Yeah, like that's
Cool.
someone. It's not rigged. Usually, it's the same people that always win around here. That's someone I've never seen win. So that's awesome.
Well done. Congratulations, Ben.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And thank you to Blue, because it's really cool that they handle this, because sending shipping internationally and stuff is a big pain in the ass. But because Blue is the one who is actually managing the giveaway, they handle all of the effort of giving you guys free shit. So high fives all around.
Yeah, and don't worry, this won't be the last one too. So we'll definitely have more in the future.
We're just going to make it rain as much as we can with our multi-dollar media empire, you know,
All right.
like we do.
We are out of time though. We got to go. So congratulations, my man. Make sure you get a hold of RuneShift Gaming or PM channel. Just as long as you get a hold of RuneShift, get a hold of him. It's really important so you can get your free stuff. And then everyone else, have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Oh, also, real quick before we go, I talked to CCP about getting a guest on the show this week. A couple of major CCP players are out of town right now.
You can switch to yourself too if you want.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. They're out of town right now. They won't be here. And they also said that we're gonna have like a big post coming soon with all this really fancy stuff to read and go over. So we'll have lots of talking points for next week. But they're keeping a lot of the stuff under wraps till Amsterdam. They don't want to do any like big talks till Amsterdam. So they're probably not going to be joining any like talk shows for a while. So that comes from CCP Falcon. So I've tried to get a
Cool.
for that. So yeah, just
We
let me
will
know.
be back next week
Yeah,
then.
see ya. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. And thanks for coming with the giveaway. Thank you to all of our guests. High fives all around. Out.
Yep.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will